welcome to a new episode of the Yarnflakes Podcast. My name is Audrey and this is a nitty yarny podcast from the southwest of France. Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me this week. I hope you're all doing very well. I am cured from my cold that you have seen last week. And yeah, I have a teeny episode for you, I think. I actually don't have much knitting progress to share with you. Not that I haven't been knitting, it's just that the project that I'm working on are quite repetitive, or so they're already looking very much like they will be looking when they're finished, so the progress is not significantly different for me to share it with you. I do have a couple of things to share. I also have a pattern release this week that I will announce. And I thought that since I will not have much actual knitting content to share with you, I could get out my Christmas knitting project, because I have quite a few gifts in mind and I isolated the yarns that I will use for that. So I thought I could share this with you for this episode, since well, this is going to be the last episode of October, and yeah, I think that from November on, pretty much allowed to talk about Christmas gift knitting. So I will also, at the end of the episode, share a little announcement with you regarding the Making Things app, which you might have seen things about on social media. So yes, that is the program for this week's episode. You can find timestamps to all the different sections in the description down below. So if you want to skip anything, feel free to jump ahead. And I will also put links to everything that I talk about, as well as my social media and patterns for sale on Ravelry. Got a little bit confused in my sentence here. Not sure I said all of that right, but there we go. I thought I would just quickly show you some of my progress, the ones that make sense at least. And first of all, I'm going to quickly show you, because I am very happy. I have completed my Wool and Honey yoke. That is right. So this is Wool and Honey, which is a pattern by Andrea Maury that I am knitting out of Holst Garn Supersoft in the Nougat colorway. If you watched last week's episode, you might remember that I had a little hiccup regarding dye lots with this and I had to start over, but as of last night I completed the yoke. So next row I will separate for body and sleeves, and yeah, from here on it's going to be much faster, I assume. And yes, this was really fun to work on. A little bit sad that there's no more little honeycomb patterns to do, because it was really nice and fun to do. And yeah, I think this is just going to look so beautiful. First, once the body and sleeve are separated, so that you can see a little bit more, because right now it's all crunched up on a circular needles, and once it's blocked as well. And I think it's going to be a great wardrobe staple. Yay! So that is one mark in my knitting progress that made sense to show. And yeah, I think I can also show you that I have made significant move on my Hylde wrap, which is a pattern, a design that I have my own, that I am working on in collaboration with Maison Corlaine, which is a French indie dyer, who is about to launch a really cool new collection of non-superwash bases with a bunch of different wool breeds variety. And so they very kindly contacted me to collaborate, and they sent me this gorgeousness. This is my last skein. I am working on the last portion of this project, and this is a Falkland base, non-superwash fingering weight 2-ply, dyed in this absolutely stunning green color base. It was grey base, so they dyed it in green and it just absolutely beautiful, and I'm quite happy because currently you're having a very good color accuracy, so that's very nice. But yes, I just thought I would show you because it is becoming quite the beast, and I thought it was quite nice to see. So this is, in case you forgot from the billion times I've shown it to you already, this is a rectangular wrap that is featuring seed stitch, little cables. It's getting way overblown by the light at the moment, but this is where I am. So you can see the logic of the construction. It's really a repetition of the same motifs until we reach, well, until we used all of our yarn pretty much. And yeah, needles. It's really starting to be kind of a blanket when I'm working on it, so that's quite fun. And yeah, it's going to be quite a cozy one. And keep it on for the rest of the episode, even though the needles are going to be a pain to know. But yeah, this is Hylde, currently being test knitted, and yeah, I have worked on Pupa as well, which is another one of my design, which is another shawl featuring mosaic and brioche, but just on the, I basically just added some garters since last time you saw it, so there's no point showing it to you. However, I did complete one half of a Christmas gift. So this is some self-striping socks that I am knitting for my mother out of yarn that I dyed myself while I was experimenting with dyeing self-striping. So as you can probably tell, I am going to put in afterthought heels once I finish the second one. I started it already and already completed the little calf. I try to start at the same point, not because not for aesthetic reasons. Basically, I don't mind. I don't really want them to be matching perfectly, but it's just much more convenient when they're the same. To have the same size. Basically, I'm just going to make the same number of stripes and then I'm going to place the heels at the same time. So it's more of a practical reason that I try to start them at the same point. And yeah, I just did around the toe, and I considered just making a long tube, you know, and then I believe there's a pattern like this called afterthought everything, but basically you just make a tube, then you long tube for the two socks, then you cut in the middle, you put the toes there, and then you put the heels. I considered doing it, but then I thought it would actually be a bit more troublesome for me, while I can just knit a toe without too much trouble. But yeah, so yeah, I think that's all the knitting I can actually show you this week. And yeah, hopefully next time I see you I'll have some, well, I'll definitely have significant progress on a couple of whips, so it would be worthwhile showing them to you. Yeah, so I just wanted, before moving on to my Christmas gift knitting section, to announce that I have a pattern release, and it is a design that you have seen here before, so I'm just announcing it to you. Yes, Garn is now available on Ravelry. So, in case you haven't seen it already, this is another rectangular wrap, but with lace motif. And it's very delicate and it's really, really beautiful. I have some people telling me that they wanted to to knit it to accompany a wedding outfit, not as the bride but as a guest, and I think that's really sweet because yeah, it just shows how pretty and delicate it is. I think it's my most delicate pattern as of yet. And yeah, it is also rather simple to work. Even if you're a beginner lace knitter, I think this could be considered a nice first project. The motifs are repetitive, and I am very happy of the work that we've been doing with my testers, because I think with all their feedback and thoughts, I was able to achieve like a pattern layout that made it really good to follow. So I am really happy with the pattern, how it is right now, and I think it makes it a good beginner's lace project. And as you can see, it's nice. It can be like a really delicate thing, but at the same time, if you just wrap it normally, you know, it's very lightweight. It's quite a nice accessory to keep close to your neck while the weather is starting to get cooler, as it is right now. And the pattern is written so that you can use however much yarn you have. I recommend a minimum of 800 meters, just so that you can get the same, basically the same length that I did, so that you can comfortably wrap it around your shoulders and neck. But yeah, basically you can use different weights of yarn. I personally use the lace weight. This is merino, silk and yak blend. This is a lace weight from Cosmic Strings in their penny colorway. Just absolutely beautiful. But my testers have used fingering weight. Some of them have also made really interesting combination using different threads, basically combining mohair texture to make a nice mixture for the wrap. And yeah, I've seen their works in progress and they're really beautiful, and I'm really looking forward to seeing their pages on Ravelry. As you're looking at this episode right now, like I said, the pattern is out, so their projects should appear in the next few days. And yeah, go have a look if you need some color inspiration. And yeah, I wanted to mention as well, because I got some question regarding blocking such a project, because it has two things that are quite troublesome. It's a lace project, so you want it to be open, but it's a rectangular wrap, so it has long edges that you want to keep straight. And the thing is, since it's lace, well, it's not about preventing it from rolling, because yes, it is stockinette based, but there are garter borders that prevent it from rolling. It's about opening the lace but maintaining a straight edge. And the thing is, you have equipment that makes this possible, either the combs by Knit Pro or blocking wires, rigid wires that you can thread through the edge to position it. But if you want to stretch the lace and you don't have these equipments, like me, I don't have them. I'm quite lazy blocking wires, I don't really like doing it, so I also don't have the proper equipment to do it. So if I had needed to stretch this so that the lace would open, I would have ended up with needle marks, like pins marks on the edges, and I wouldn't have had that nice straight shapeless edge. I find that in that case, what is really helping me and my laziness is to pick the right kind of yarn. So if you plan to knit something lacy and you know that it's a wrap, for example, and you want straight edge, I think paying attention to the type of yarn you choose is really important, because I used a single ply yarn, and single plies are known to spread when blocked on their own, and that's why sometimes people have issues mixing it with plied yarns, because it just spreads and doesn't bounce back as other types of construction would. So this single ply was just so easy to work with. I basically, well, I soaked it, I blocked it normally, and then I just laid it flat. And what I did is that I just spread it, passed my hands on it like this. I put no pins whatsoever on the edges, and it's just open. And it stayed like this on its own. So the type of yarn that you use really can make it super easy. Single plies are awesome for this. You know, I find them quite limited for other types of projects, but if you use a single ply for what it's good at, that is wrap, something that needs to be drapey and soft and not necessarily really bouncy and structured, well, it just works wonders. Maybe flat threads as well, 2 plies are good for lace weight, for lace projects, sorry. But anything that would be high twist, like sock blends, things that are round and multiplied, it's going to need a little bit more work to be stretched and open. So you might at that point need to pin. And if you don't have the cable, the rigid wires, I say cable because we say câble in French, and that's why I'm mixing up my words. Wires. If you don't have wires, if you don't have the combs, it can be a little bit of a pain. But yeah, so I would suggest that you pay attention to your yarn choice when you knit such a thing. As I'm recording right now, Cosmic Strings do have a few of their lace, yak lace base in their shop, but they also have another, like a regular singles fingering weight base, and you know, any singles would do, as well as fine 2-ply lace weight yarn, I think. I cannot think of a 2-ply fingering weight yarn that is flat enough at the moment, but I'm sure there are. But yeah, just avoid round bouncy ones and you'll be fine. So that is the blocking topic for this. But yes, Lucarne, did I even say its name? This is the Lucarne wrap, and it is now available on Ravelry. There is a little coupon code to get you 15% off the pattern should you wish to use it. It will work until Monday, and it's the code Lucarne. Everything will be written in the description under the video. So yeah, I am really happy to have this pattern out. I am really proud of it. It's looking really good, and a lot of you said you liked it, so yeah, I hope you would want to have a look on it. Do check my testers versions, like I said, because they are very, very nice. Yay. So yes, this was the little pattern announcement for this week, and I guess I can, yeah, dive into my Christmas knitting plans. So you will see that I have already started with the self-striping socks that I showed you. So yeah, I have put everything in some sort of a bag. I'm just going to put everything here. So I have quite a few socks to make, and a couple of them are for my mother, so the self-striping one that you have already seen, as well as this. So basically what I did is that I laid a few options, like sock yarns that didn't have any particular project in mind. I laid them in front of my mom and I said, okay, just pick one and this will be your Christmas socks. Of course she picked 2, so so the self-striping and this is, well, this is another yarn by Cosmic Strings, not sponsored, just obsessed. But this is their sock base, so 75-25 superwash merino nylon. This is a 4, like typically, I think that this, as lace, needing straight edge would be a little bit troublesome to block. But this makes terrific socks and sweaters, and I've made other types of shawl as well with their sock base. And yeah, so this is the Ripple colorway, which is very interesting and like a kind of a rugged, speckled, grungy type of thing. So yeah, I usually can make more than 2 pairs of socks out of 100 grams of yarn. So I will make some for my mom and probably some for me as well. Because I really like it. It's shades of teals and blues and browns. It's really nice. They're really talented specular cosmic strings. But yeah, I also have plans to do a weekender sweater for my mom, but that's for her birthday, which is also in December because she's painful like this. But she's a pain, not she's painful. My mother is not painful, that doesn't mean anything. Yeah, I am probably going to start it quite soon, so you will see that in the next few episodes, I hope. Have to. But yes, she also required, because she sometimes finds in one of these like feminine magazines like crafty tutorials or stuff, and she found something like it was a washcloth. And they made it sound so trendy and stuff, and so she was like, can you make me one? So I will make her washcloth, and I picked up some cotton that I have in my stash. This is just a Phildar cotton, and this is some Woll by Camilla. Both of them are 100% cotton, and I figured I would hold them together and yeah, make some sort of really quick, thick washcloth thingy. Probably in moss stitch or something like a waffle pattern. Something not too complicated, and that makes sense washing cloth wise. I do also have this, which is Berroco Linsey, which is a cotton and linen blend that I got from Fiber Share from previous years. And I already intended to use this and make a couple of washcloths, and this will be a gift from someone else who might be watching the podcast, so I'm not saying. But yeah, I just wanted to like buy some sort of pretty artisanal soap or hand cream or whatever, and make a couple of washcloths and make a pretty gift with this. I actually never knitted dishcloth or washcloth, never. So these will be my first for this Christmas. And now we're on to gifts for my boyfriend, so Marius. He's already seen all this, in case he's watching, it's fine. I'm going to make him a couple of socks because he really likes wearing his hand-knit socks, and yeah, I just want to make more for him, even though he's quite sensitive to wool. Well, he thinks he is, but no, he usually anyway is so cold all the time that he wears normal cotton socks under them, so I can just make him a bunch of hand-knit socks. And this is yarn I used to make him a pair of fingerless mittens in the past, actually. This is I think it was Lakeside Yarns. This was from a dyer from Germany that I found on Etsy. I'm going to have to try and find again the link to her shop. But yeah, I don't remember the name of the colorway, but I'm going to make him socks out of this. And I believe I'm going to use my Little People socks, which is a design of mine, because it has a really fun pattern on it that makes it really soft and cushy and really thick socks. So I think he will appreciate that. And I'm going to make him a second pair of socks with this, which is Woll by Arosa, which is a wool and nylon blend from like a classic German sock base. And this is sort of cell patterning slash really big stripes yarn. And yeah, this is a little this is quite thick for a sock yarn, and it makes bigger, more rustic socks, but they're really nice and color wise. So yeah, a couple of socks. Then he requested a colorwork hat, because yeah, every time I make a colorwork pattern he says he really likes them, blah blah blah. So I'm going to make him a colorwork hat. I already drew a motif that I showed him and that he approved, So I'm going to try and make that happen, and I'm just going to use a bunch of leftovers in decay weight. So this is some drops Lima. This is, I believe, wool but Söcke that I used for my Marius cardigan, my crazy Christmas cardigan. And yeah, it's going to be a colorwork hat. So it's a design. I don't know what I will do with it. Maybe I'll publish it, but yeah, I have to get going on that. But you know, I don't make loads of hats, so I don't quite know how many stitches to cast on, so I have to figure that out and make it work, hopefully, so that it fits like a beanie on him, because he doesn't like slouchy fits. Yeah, and then finally he recently realized that cowls existed. Didn't know what it was. He showed me a picture of something that was just ugly, something really ugly, and what is this? And so it was a cowl, and like I said, he's someone that's very cold all the time, and so yeah, a cowl is a good idea for him to be warm, and so I'm going to make him one. And I found this in my stash, which is some Phildar Partner 6, which is an acrylic blend. It has, I'm saying this like I'm disgusted, I don't care. It's just that, yeah, I personally don't like wearing acrylic or heavy polyamide things, because it's not really breathing. My boyfriend can't really tell the difference, and he's just going to see that it's super soft, and so he's not going to understand why I insist making sweaters out of really big, nasty, rustic wool. But yeah, so it still has 25% wool, 25% acrylic, and 50% nylon. Plasticky. But I had this in my stash from quite some time ago when I started knitting. And so it's a worsted weight yarn, I'd say. And yeah, I have two blacks and one like sort of beige thingy, and I thought I could, well, I will make it mostly black so that he will wear it, but I thought I would incorporate this, like make maybe 1 or 2 bands at the bottom and play with slip stitches to make some sort of a motif. I'll see. I want to try and just so that it's not just black. Maybe he won't like it as much because of it, but I don't know. I don't want to make an all black thing. So yeah, that would be a cowl. And that's all for my Christmas projects. Quite a few things, but they're all very mindless, small projects. So I do believe it's feasible. Yeah, and I hope I will get around to doing them. I should be fine. Yeah, I can usually make a sock pretty quickly, so. I have a little announcement to make regarding making things. So if you don't know what making things is, I will put in the description the link to their Instagram account, as well as a little presentation video to help you understand. So basically, making things is an application that will be available online, on the computer, on the tablet, on the phone. And what it does is that it helps you incorporate making, knitting, crocheting into your modern life. So for people who really like working from a screen, this is going to be super convenient. They basically take the patterns from the designers and they reformat them. They put them in a very convenient, very neat and intuitive layout so that it can be easily viewed on screen. And they also have a lot of nifty tools, like you can put notes, you can remember where you are, you can view stitch tutorials as well directly on the app. So they did a really good job at surrounding the patterns with really cool tools to help you follow them. And yeah, basically the way it works is you will subscribe to the app. So I believe it's $12 per month. So for the price of 2 knitting patterns, basically you will have a subscription, and you can think of it as a Netflix system, because you will have access to all their database, so all the patterns that the designers have shared with Making Things, basically. And there are quite a lot of us, and really big names in the knitting community, so that's really exciting. And yeah, you will see however many patterns you want and however many patterns you can make, basically. So if you knit a lot, and if you're always on the go, and you're that type of knitter that likes to follow patterns from their computer or their phone, I think it can be a really cool, efficient way for you to help putting knitting into a little bit of a modern method, so to say. And yeah, so I am very lucky to be part of the designers at Making Things. So they're currently working on getting the app ready. I will let you know when it is. And yeah, so basically all my patterns will be available there as well as on Ravelry. And it is really 2 different things, because with Making Things you do not own the PDF, you do not have it with you in your library, stored in your computer, you cannot print it. So yeah, Ravelry is good if you are more of a sanitary knitter, I think. A lot of people like printing patterns, I do it from time to time. But if you need a tool to help you knit when you're, you know, just sitting around with friends and you don't necessarily want to have the patterns, 26 row counters, access to YouTube to check tutorials, you know, that is a really convenient little thing that they made, and it is really intuitive to work on. And so yeah, if you would like to know how designers are paid through this app, well, I think it's important that you know. Basically, like I said, you pay a subscription monthly, and whenever you check out a pattern from a designer, part of your subscription goes to that designer. So yeah, if you're curious, do check out their Instagram. I think it's going to be a really helpful tool for a lot of people. And yeah, I will keep you up to date on that, and when everything is ready, I will share with you my designer page, because you will be able to see all the designers that are part of Making Things, and you will be able to see the patterns that they put there, and through that designers page you will be able to subscribe to the app if you think that it will be worth it for you. Considering how many patterns, and it was going to be huge, how many patterns there are available through the app. So yeah, I hope I made sense with all of this, and that you, I would be curious to know what you think about this, if you would be inclined to try something like this, if you think the system is interesting, or if you're really attached to printing your patterns and having your little multi-support setup, which I do like sometimes, as I mostly knit at home. Yeah, I find myself being very free of how I knit, but I know a lot of people would need something a little bit more portable, more convenient, and I think this app, this multi-purpose app with this huge offer of designs, it's I think it's definitely a good thing, and I'm really curious to see where it goes. So yeah, do let me know what you think. If you have any question, I will try to answer them. Yes, I believe that this is it for this week's episode. Don't forget, if you like Le Carn, to go check it out on Ravelry, and you can add the patterns to your favorites there. It really helps a lot, making it visible, and I would really like to know what you guys think about it. Yeah, that's it for this week. I wish you a very happy day and night, and I will see you next time. Bye!